Morning. I thought I'd start the new year off with a new reoccurring feature, which is reviews, book reviews. I read books all the time and I often write reviews, but figured I would do some video reviews just to share it in a new way. So, starting off the year, Alexandra Lange, Meet Me at the Fountain. It's a history of the shopping mall. And I'm trying to remember where I even heard about this book, but I'm glad it fell in my lap. It has a really cool design inside that lays out kind of like how malls look. In the center of the book, there are black and white photos throughout, but in the center of the book, there's a section that has nice glossy photos. Some of them are color. As somebody who grew up in Michigan, arguably one of the first sites of a covered mall in 1954 in Northland. Um, and now somebody who lives in Minnesota, the other site of the Edina Mall, Southdale, that also claims to be the first indoor mall. It was fascinating to read this. And of course, like being a child of the 80s, we spent a lot of time in malls. And so, I enjoyed this book quite a bit. It's written with a sense of humor. There's a lot of research packed in here. I really enjoy her style of prose as well. Some of my favorite little tidbits are, like I mentioned, the Northland project in 1954 in Michigan, the Southdale one in Minnesota in 1956. I found it really interesting to learn that part of the reason malls had such big parking lots was not only to impress people that there was always a spot for you, but strategically to keep competitors away. And I thought that was kind of a clever piece of information. I'd be curious to see where she got it from, but it makes sense also. And so I didn't question it, but I just love those little nuggets of information. Similarly, there are some statistics towards the end where she, covers essentially malls during the pandemic. I mean, this goes right up until 2021. And so she's talking about the decline of the mall and how the pandemic affected malls, especially ones that opened just prior to the pandemic shutting everything down. But some of my favorite statistics were that apparently there are 24 square feet of retail space for every American in the United States, which doesn't just include malls, but just the idea of how much space we take up um, to selling things. And by comparison, then Canada is the next highest with 16.8 square feet, and the United Kingdom has 4.6, and then China has 2.8. So just kind of interesting to think about those statistics and how that factors into, I guess, what we value. And clearly, retail is one of those things that's important to us. There's also a statistic towards the end talking about the peak of malls existing in 2017, where I guess at the time there were 116,000 malls. But anyway, just quick review. If you're at your bookstore, snag a copy of Alexander Lang's Meet Me at the Fountain. I got it at Fine Print in Saline, but it's available everywhere. So thanks.